Hello, welcome back to Social Studies. We are going to be continuing our discussion on important documents today. The important document we are going to be talking about today is called the Declaration of Independence. Say, the Declaration of Independence. Very good. This is a very important document in our nation. Let's read a little bit about it here. The Declaration of Independence explains the rights of people. It says people have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These rights are very important. Governments have to protect these rights. So that tells us a little bit about the Declaration of Independence, but I want to know more about the history and where this document came from. Why do we have it, and why is it so important? Let's go ahead and look at our world map here real quick. So the United States is right here, this orange blob. You can't even see Michigan, it's just a blob right now. So the United States right here, and then all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, we have the United Kingdom, right? That little pink country right there. So before the United States was its own nation, the United States were only considered the 13 colonies, which were located right along the coast of the water of our Atlantic Ocean right here. Our 13 colonies, they were ruled by the king who lives in the United Kingdom. So the king, who's way over here, was trying to tell these colonists who lived in the 13 colonies what to do, because this was not the United States yet. The United States was not a country yet. They were part of the United Kingdom. There came a point where the colonists finally, they got so tired of being told what to do by the king that they decided that they were going to break away from being a part of the British king's rule. They decided that they did not want to be ruled by him anymore. So they sent him the Declaration of Independence, which looks like this picture right here. It starts with in Congress on July 4th, 1776. Well, July 4th, that's a very important day in our history. What do we celebrate on July 4th? You might celebrate with some fireworks, you might have a cookout, you might spend some time with your family, but we celebrate this because this was the day where we declared our independence from the British king. We sent him this very large document with lots and lots of words in it, and there were many signatures at the bottom here that you can see. Look at this name right here. Let me zoom in a little bit. John Hancock. Wow, do you notice anything different about his name there? His name looks pretty big compared to the other ones. We're going to talk about his name and what that means later in this lesson. But you can see it's a lot bigger, and he was trying to say, you know what, I'm here, I'm not scared of the British king, I'm going to write my name so big so he can see it, and he knows that I signed this document, because his name really stands out there. So our Declaration of Independence is, we had not won the war yet. We finally were saying we do not want to be a part of the British king, and we started the American Revolution there and decided to go to war to gain our independence from the British king. We're going to watch a short video. I'm going to play it right here with a little more history on the Declaration of Independence.
In the summer of 1776, the Second Continental Congress put together a committee to write the Declaration of Independence. The declaration was to be created for the purpose of telling the King of England that the colonists in the United States wanted to govern themselves. The committee chose Thomas Jefferson to write the Declaration of Independence. Jefferson spent 2 weeks writing and rewriting. Once he had finished, he took it to the Second Continental Congress for them to read. There were many days of arguments about the Declaration, but after some corrections and additions, the Declaration was ready. The first part of the Declaration explains that men have certain rights that can't be taken away. The second part tells how King George III refused to grant these rights. The Declaration of Independence was read to all of the colonies, and almost all of the colonists approved of its words. Congress voted on the Declaration on July 2, 1776 at Independence Hall in Philadelphia, and it was officially signed on July 4, 1776. It was signed by 56 delegates from 13 different states. It is on the 4th of July that we celebrate our country's independence.
All right, so just a little more information there about where our Declaration started and why this document is so important. You are going to be working on a work page today in relation to the Declaration of Independence. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. This is our page here that we'll be working with for the Declaration of Independence today. The Declaration of Independence was written after the start of the Revolutionary War to state to England and other countries that the 13 American colonies were no longer under British rule and they were forming a new government of their own. The document was signed on July 4th, 1776. Independence Day is an important holiday that is celebrated every year in the United States. Today, the original Declaration of Independence is kept in the National Archives building in Washington, D.C. In Washington, D.C. is where the Declaration of Independence is, and it's under very, very thick glass. You're not allowed to touch it because it is such an old document, and I don't know if they even allow camera flashes on there anymore. I believe last time I went there they said no flashes. So they really try to keep this document safe because it is very, very old. Let's look at the drawing below of the Declaration of Independence. Many people sign the document, but the largest signature belongs to, who did we say? John Hancock. Today, to put your John Hancock on something means to sign your name on it. On a separate piece of paper, write a declaration of a goal you want to meet, then put your John Hancock on it and display it to inspire you to reach your goal. So here's a picture of the Declaration of Independence, and yes, we can see right in the middle here, John Hancock's signature is nice and big. You're able to see that, and it really would stand out to the British king when he was reading this document. If you scroll down, this is where you are going to write your declaration goal, so you can look at the top for the directions again, and then you will just type your declaration goal. I am going to ask that you write your goal in at least 3 sentences. I would love to see more, but at least 3 sentences here. So your declaration goal is going to be about something that you want to accomplish, something that is important to you, and you think you'll be able to accomplish this in the future. So you've been playing soccer for a long time and you've never scored a soccer goal. Maybe your goal is to eventually score a goal. So I could say, my declaration goal is to score a soccer goal at one of my games. Then tell me how you're going to work towards that goal. So I have my 1 sentence telling me what my goal is, and then I'm going to add 2 more sentences about how I could achieve this goal. I will work towards accomplishing my goal by practicing in my backyard. Every night. And then we want another goal because that's only 2 sentences. I want at least 3 sentences. I will also practice. I will also practice my running so I can get faster at running. Running by running the mile twice a week with my dad in my neighborhood. All right. So that would be my declaration goal. I don't play soccer. This is just an example one. But that is going to be your task for today, is to create your declaration goal. And remember at least 3 sentences. I would like you to tell me your goal and then tell me how you can make that goal happen. How can you work towards actually completing that goal? All right. If you have any questions, please reach out to your teachers. We would be so happy to help. Have a great day.